Hi, how are you today? Happy Thursday. I'm glad you're joining us today. We've got some great books to look at. The first book we're going to look at is called Sarah Squirrel and the Lost Acorns. Let's look at this together. Here's the cover page right here. It says, on the edge of Teasel Wood in a large tree lived Sarah Squirrel. Like most squirrels, she was always hungry. One day, when Sarah visited her secret store for an acorn snack, she found it empty. Oh dear, I don't remember eating everything, said Sarah, peering into all the corners just in case she'd missed something. Well, I guess I'll have to go out and gather some more acorns. Sarah scampered down the tree trunk and along the forest path towards the oak trees deep in the woods. On the way, she met Mary Mouse. Sarah, I'm so glad to see you, she cried. Are you going into the woods? The babies are keeping me so busy, I haven't had time to find dinner. Would you bring me back a juicy berry? Sarah liked to help her friends, so she cheerfully agreed. Off she went, saying to herself, a juicy berry and acorns for me. Sarah hadn't gone much farther when she heard another voice. Who's there? Asked Morris Mole, poking his head out of the molehill. It's me, shouted Sarah loudly, before she remembered that Morris was nearsighted, not deaf. If you're going into the woods, will you bring me back a crunchy leaf? Asked Morris politely. They're so much better than the ones I find here. All right, I will, said Sarah in a quieter voice. She hurried on, chanting, a crunchy leaf, a juicy berry, and acorns for me. Who's making that noise? Said Barney Badger gruffly as he climbed out of his burrow. Oh, it's you, Sarah. Are you going into the woods? Yes, I am, said Sarah. Can I get you anything? Well, since you asked, I'd like a mushroom and make sure it's a tasty one. A tasty mushroom, Sarah repeated. A crunchy leaf, a juicy berry, and acorns for me. Soon Sarah reached the oak trees. Lots of acorns, she thought happily, gathering them up. Plenty for my store and one for a snack. Next, Sarah found a mushroom. Tasty, she said, sampling a piece from its cap. She balanced the mushroom on top of the acorns and off she went. A little farther on, Sarah discovered a bright red berry and a crunchy leaf. She put them on top of the mushroom. Staggering along with her goodies, she didn't see the snail in her path. And, okay, what happened? See the snail right there? Is she tripping over the snail? Let's find out. Down fell Sarah, the acorns, the tasty mushroom, the crunchy leaf, and the juicy berry. Bother, she said, gathering everything up again. She wasn't really hungry now and couldn't wait to get home. That's her tripping and that's her dropping everything. When she arrived, Mary, Morris, and Barney were waiting for her. We thought you'd never come, barked Barney, eyeing the tasty mushroom. Thank you, Sarah, said Morris, thrilled with his crunchy leaf. I'll share this with my babies, squeaked Mary, rushing away with the juicy berry. Suddenly, Sarah remembered her own snack. "Where are my acorns?" she cried, looking around. They were nowhere to be seen. Poor Sarah, she was so loaded down with food for everyone else, she'd lost her acorns. "Well, I have to go back and get some more," she sighed. As Sarah set out for the oak trees for the second time that day, a cheery voice called her name. "Sarah, since you were going out, could you bring me back a seed?" It was Victoria Vole. "Oh no, not again," Sarah thought, and before Victoria could say anything else, she ran off, pretending not to hear her. "Poor Sarah," said Victoria to herself. "I do believe she's going deaf." Sarah didn't hear Victoria Vole there. She's running really fast. The end. This book was called Sarah Squirrel and the Lost Acorns. That was a great book. This week, we've been talking about words that start with the same letter. On Tuesday, we looked at A, B, C, D, and E. And yesterday, on Wednesday, we looked at F, G, H, and I. Today, we're going to take a look at J, K, L, and M. First, let's review what we looked at Tuesday and Wednesday, though. We're going to get out our picture dictionary. Let's look at this together. Let's review what we went over. The first one we did was A, and it has the ah sound, like apple here. And then we did B, and it has the ba sound, like baby and baseball. Let's keep going. Next, we did C, and C has that k sound, as in cake. We looked at D, and D has the d sound, as in deer. And finally, Tuesday, we looked at E, and E has the sound, as in earth and eagle and electric. You can all hear the E sound there. On Wednesday, we went over F, G, H, and I. Let's review those real fast. Here's F right here. And F has the f sound, as in farmer. That's a good F word. Let's look at G. G has the g sound. And we hear that sound in gold. We can hear that G sound, gold, and geese right here. Let's look at H. H has the h sound, as in hot, or hat, or hamburger. And finally, the last one we're going to review from yesterday is I. I has that sound, as in igloo or iceberg. Those are great I words. Now we're going to look at J. Let's look at that together. J has the j sound. Here's J right here. And here's some of the words they suggest with that j sound. There's jacket. Ooh, that's a good J word. Jet. Jeans. Ooh, you can really hear the J with that. The jar. Ooh, that's a good one. What other J words do we have? We've got jigsaw and journey and joke. That's a good J word. Now, let's talk about K. K has the k sound. Let's talk about some K words. We've got karate and kick. You hear that k sound as in kick? Yeah. Let's look at some more K words on the next page. Over here, we've got, ooh, that's a good K word, King, king. You can hear that K sound at the very beginning there. And down here, we've got kite. Ooh, that's fun. Let's see some other ones. They've got kitten. Ooh, that's good. Oh, what about kitchen? That's a good K word too. Now, finally, today we're going to look at L and M. So L has the L sound. So we hear it in ladder. So we're looking at L, and that's the L sound. So we have ladder. Ooh, do you hear that L at the beginning? What else do we have? We've got laundry and ladybug. That's a good one. Oh, what about leaf? We've been talking about leaves. That's that L sound, leaf. And over here, we've got large and language. And what about lasagna? That's a good L word. Now, let's talk about M. M has the M sound. We feel that right at the front of our lips. M. Here's M right here. There's M. And let's talk about some words that start with M. Ooh, we've got some good ones over here. We've got milk. Ooh, that's a good one. And measurement. Yeah, and mask. Ooh, and down here we've got more and moon. See the moon right there? We can really hear that M sound at the beginning of moon. What else do they have? They've got middle and midnight and modern. That's a good one, huh? What else do we have? We've got melody and melt. Ooh, the chocolate's melting. Those are all great M words. And we'll be working on this all week. The last book I wanted to go over with you all today is a really fun one. It's called Bunny's Book Club. And the pictures are great. Let's look at this one together. Oh, you can tell it's been checked out. That's just the cover page. That's not real. See? It's printed on there. How fun. This is going to be a great book. Here's the opening page right there. Let's keep going. It says, Bunny loved books. He'd loved them ever since he first heard the lady with the red glasses reading aloud outside the library. As he listened, Bunny imagined himself climbing mountains, captaining a ship, or ruling a kingdom. But when summer ended, story time moved back inside. Bunny wasn't sure if animals were allowed in the library, but Bunny was sure he couldn't live without books. Night after night, he could hardly sleep for wishing he had to do something. So, with a flashlight in his paws and hope in his heart, Bunny jumped out of bed and tiptoed through the dark. That's Bunny tiptoeing right there. But when he reached the library door, it was locked. So were the windows. Bunny tried digging, climbing, and yanking. Nothing worked until finally he noticed. Ooh, what did he notice? We're going to have to turn the page and find out. The book return! The shiny handle was far above his head, but it was no match for a high-hopping bunny hungry for books. Bunny leapt. He clung to the bar, flung himself over, and wiggled his cotton tail through the slot. He landed inside with a thud. Bunny's eyes sparkled at the sight of the shelves bursting with books. It was better than a field full of fresh, crunchy carrots. Bunny didn't know where to start. He took a deep breath. It smelled as if he were wrapped inside the pages of his favorite book. He followed his nose to the adventure section. There he found stories about swashbucklers, sharks, and superheroes. Bunny greedily grabbed them all. His whiskers twitching with excitement, he slipped his treasures through the book slot one by one. Then, performing his best balancing act, Bunny wobbled home. He couldn't wait to dig in. And so Bunny returned to the library each night. He searched and sneaked and then scurried back to read. Then one evening, a loud knock startled Bunny. He closed his book and opened the door. "Where have you been?" asked Porcupine. "Reading," said Bunny. "Why?" said Porcupine. Bunny's eyes popped wide open. "Why?" he sputtered. "Have you ever been to the library?" It was time for Bunny to let Porcupine in on the secret. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" said Porcupine. "Calm your quills," said Bunny. "I'm too prickly. I'll never fit." Bunny pushed and shoved until pop went Porcupine. Bunny slipped in and flipped on his flashlight. "Whoa," said Porcupine. "I know," said Bunny. "Do you think there's a story about balloons? I've always wondered about balloons." "Most definitely," said Bunny. Sure enough, Porcupine found books on balloons and on deserts and dunes, on caterpillars and cocoons. When Bunny handed him one about hedgehogs, he hugged it. The two friends took turns cramming books out the slot. Their towers teetered so high they could barely carry them. Back at Bunny's, they cozied up with cups of tea and carrot muffins. Together, they read until sunrise. One night, Bear noticed the light on at Bunny's. He opened the door and tripped over a stack of books. "What's going on?" said Bear. "Here," said Bunny, handing him a book. Bear made room and settled in to read. Soon more curious animals began visiting. "Do you have any books about outer space?" said Bird. "I think it's time for a field trip," said Bunny. One by one, the animals stuffed themselves inside the library. Bear caused a bit of a delay. They scattered about, sniffing the stacks, pawing over pages. Squirrel gathered stories about the circus. Raccoon nabbed one about outlaws and bandits. Frog found a fairy tale. No one heard the key in the front door. No one heard the clack, clack, clacking of footsteps. No one heard the light flicker on. So here's a key right here, and it says we gotta go. So they heard a key in the doorway. What's gonna happen? Let's find out. "What do we have here?" said the librarian. The animals looked up in shock. Bunny gasped. Porcupine gasped. Bear groaned. "Follow me," she said. The animals marched slowly behind her. "We're done for," whispered Porcupine. "All libraries have rules," said the librarian sternly. Bunny's whiskers trembled. Porcupine's back bristled. Bear eyed the door. Bunny stepped forward to take the blame. The librarian leaned down. What's gonna happen? Everybody's nervous. Let's find out. "The first rule is every book lover must have one of these," she said. She handed Bunny and his friends shiny new library cards. Now you may borrow books, she said, smiling, as long as you return them, of course. Bunny couldn't believe his ears. They could keep coming to the library. He beamed at his fellow readers and then bounced to the shelves. He picked the perfect book and he proudly checked out the very first official section for Bunny's Book Club. So Bunny started a book club. How fun. The end. So at the very front, I want to show you all this again really fast. This is a library card like they're talking about. This one's not really here. It's just printed on the page. But that's the library card they're talking about in the book. That was a great book. It was called Bunny's Book Club. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.